Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Welcome back, I'm Andrew from Infinite Light, and today I'll be reviewing the upgraded Avata vs Air2s. I recently went on a week-long trip to Hawaii, and I brought the upgraded Avata and Air2s with me. I had a blast in Hawaii, and it's safe to say I'm obsessed with flying drones. Like everywhere I went, I wanted to fly my drone. It was either the Avata or the Air2s. I would say in the beginning I was crazier about the Avata. I just wanted to get all of these cool FPV shots, but towards the end of the trip it was getting harder to find good spots to fly the Avata, so I opted for the Air2s a lot to get those beautiful cinematic shots, because Hawaii has a lot of those beautiful landscapes and you just need those slow moving cinematic shots. They're just too beautiful and they can't be beat. And I'm getting ahead of myself and I'm already jumping to the conclusion. I'll break it down of what I liked about the Avata and what I liked about the Air2s. I was actually able to bring both with me into my backpack, which was a bit of a struggle before with the DJI FPV drone. I could fit it all into my backpack, but I wouldn't really have stuff for anything else. There'd be no more room for miscellaneous items, extra batteries, ND filters, chargers. But now with the Avata, I can comfortably fit the Avata and Air2s into my backpack. It was a lot more enjoyable traveling with the Avata. I'm just gonna keep comparing it to the DJI FPV drone because that's what I had to do before. In case you haven't heard, I'm giving away my FPV drone. So if you want to enter the giveaway, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment on where you would want to fly this FPV drone. Compared to the DJI FPV drone, I had to always put on propellers before I start flying. But with the Avata, that friction is gone, which makes it way easier to fly. I could just take it out, turn everything on, and I'm good to go. One of the cool parts of this video is that it's an upgraded Avata, so it's not just the regular stock one. With the upgraded motors, it has a much easier time climbing and getting up to places and fighting the wind back if you need to. Because we all know as drone pilots, we like to be near the ocean or along the water, and those places tend to get very windy. So having the extra power helps a lot. Before, with the stock motors, I would get worried on a windy day. I probably wouldn't try to fly it because it would have such a hard time coming back. My favorite thing about the Avata is that it has the prop guards, so it gives you the confidence to fly through things, to fly through little tight spaces without worrying about one of the propellers getting caught and bring the whole drone down. So I've been flying it indoors and through tighter spaces because of the prop guards. Though without the upgraded motor, it does cause the tumble, which a lot of people have suffered from. But with the upgraded motors, I haven't really gotten any problems with it. There was one time where I was turning left and it kind of started to wobble, but it caught itself and I kept on going. And since then, I haven't worried about it at all. I completely forgot about it until somebody asked me in the comments. The upgraded motors make it a joy to fly. It's so much fun cruising around, getting the action shots. In Hawaii, I was always trying to catch the surfers surfing, which the Air2s for sure wouldn't be able to keep up. It's a DJI drone, so it has all of the cool DJI software, the return to home, and you can stop if you need to and cruise around in the regular GPS mode and navigate through things. The GPS mode is really useful for showing your friends too that are interested in FPV. Like a regular FPV drone would be too hard for just anybody to fly. With the DJI GPS mode, you can let your friends wear the goggles and they can cruise around. So it's nice that it has that feature. It's a DJI drone, so you can see what you're filming instead of having an action camera on top of it and having to wait until the drone comes back before you can check the footage. What you film is what you get. Though I must say, the Avata sure is a screamer. I guess that's just how cine whoops are. According to the internet, cine whoops can just be loud, and the Avata isn't even that bad compared to other cine whoops. Thing is, with cine whoops, I like to fly low and close to the ground. Like, I'm not gonna go too far with the Avata. If I want to go far, I would use the Air2s for that. But since I like to go low to the ground, that's also where people are, and some people get annoyed or the Avata scares them and they get frustrated. I had 2 incidents where I was flying low to the ground and I think I kind of took people by surprise, and they're just like, One person tried to throw something at my drone. Some people love drones or they're not as big of a fan. A few times when I'm out there flying my Avata, people are always like watching me walking by and like checking out what I'm doing. I have my goggles on, so I have no idea that they're there. They're just like, when I take my goggles off, they're like, oh, yo, sick, like nice drone. I'm always like, you want to peek into the goggles? You can wear them, and then I fly it around. And then they have a bunch of questions about like what kind of drone it is, and they're always saying like, oh, I was thinking about getting one. And I'm like, yeah, you should. They're so much fun to fly. Switching to the Air2s, the drone that flies itself. The drone will just hover, and you don't have to worry. It won't fall out of the sky. It won't go anywhere. It will just stay put unless you tell it to move. It's easy to fly, it's quiet, it's discreet. If there's the sound of ocean waves or something, people would hardly even notice it's there. The best thing about this drone, for sure, is its 1-inch sensor. The 1-inch sensor just can't be beat. It just looks so good in low light. It has good dynamic range, has color grading profiles, it has really strong connection. You only need your controller and a smartphone, and you're good to go. You can take off and go far, look around, get all the shots, scope out the place. So since I bought my first drone 3 years ago, the Mavic Air, which I'm giving away by the way, subscribe to find out more. Since I got my first drone 3 years ago, it just lost its fun factor. The GPS drones can only fly like this and straight. The Air2s can only fly like this. And the Avata, say the Avata needs to raise up, the drone physically tilts up and it rises up. And if it wants to go down, its nose points downwards and it dives. After flying FPV drones, I've tried to fly my Air2s like an FPV drone, flying closer to things, trying to get that thrill with the Air2s. There's actually been a few times where I fly too close to things and the sensors have to save me. But that's another cool thing about the Air2s too. There's sensors on the drone that will save you from any potential crashes. Yeah, which I've needed more since I started flying FPV, because I'm just like, oh, come on, get those nice, cool FPV shots. You gotta remember, there are different drones and they serve different purposes. The battery life is much longer on this one. This one, I can probably get at least 25 minutes of flight time, whereas the Avata, maybe 10 minutes. Another benefit that the Air2s has over the Avata, it has some really nice polarizers for its camera. For the Avata, I haven't seen any good polarizers yet. I tried to get some, but it fits over the entire camera, and in some angles, you see the reflection of the camera in the footage. They're really nice to use for the Air2s because of the pollution these days. There's haze everywhere and it just washes out your shot and it doesn't look good. If you use a polarizer, then it cuts through that haze and it's less noticeable. You can almost see what it's supposed to be like without the haze. And again, as drone pilots, we love to be near the water. Light reflects off the water, so it looks really good when you're able to cut out the reflections of the water and you can actually see through the water. Especially places that have beautiful clear oceans and you can see into it, just looks amazing. Polarizers are a definitely must-have for drones. Thanks to Stephanie for turning me on to polarizers. The Air2s can go really far without worrying about it. That way you can cruise around and look for the beautiful cinematic shots and your drone will be able to get there. I just wish that the Air2s, you're able to customize the sticks. The yaw is a little too sensitive, so it's hard to get that nice parallax movement. So at the end of the day, if I only had to choose one, I would choose the Air2s. The 1-inch sensor just can't be beat. The world is too beautiful and the 1-inch sensor does an amazing job at capturing it. And I just can't let that go. Especially towards the end of my Hawaii trip, I got all of these beautiful sunrises and the crazy canyons. I'm just like, yep, the Air2s is still the way to go. So if you feel like you're stuck in a rut, stuck in a loop, and you want to break out of it and go on an adventure, or just follow me on mine, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!